And then I found part of his jaw and his tooth, and I grabbed it and I went to throw it in the red bag, and she goes, no, I want it. And then the next day we came to the job and she was wearing it around her neck.
That is when you call a priest.
My next one right after that was a double homicide, and that was $15,000.
Stop. How did they get this on YouTube? Today's video is about a woman making $12 million a year from cleaning crime scenes. And dude, I don't think it's like the fingerprint dust. It's not the broken glass from a robbery. It's not that type of crime scene. When we're talking crime scenes, we're talking about and heads going, and then the remains of that just being all over. But that being said, this is a way to make money.
When a crime happens, nobody comes to clean up the mess. That is until a new type of entrepreneur showed up. In this case, one woman who has now made $12 million in revenue this year doing the thing that nobody thinks about, cleaning up situations like this. Just goes to show, dirty business could be pretty profitable.
She took women cooking and cleaning to a whole nother level. You know, there's people out there. I'm not saying it's me. The Andrew Tates. She said, okay, but I'll make $12 million doing it.
Well, I was actually at the time part of the government. When I was a police officer, someone asked me, when are you guys coming back to clean it up? And sadly, I didn't know the answer to the question. Law enforcement is prohibited from recommending any type of for-profit business. So they'll typically say, Google it. I started kind of looking into it, and I realized, oh my God, there's a niche here that no one's doing, and every single person on the planet is under the perception that law enforcement does it. So
that's a fair point. You definitely think that if something happens, if something goes down, the police are taking care of it. I don't know, maybe there's a special unit paramedic that like has a push broom. So they pointed out there a niche market. I mean, hey, that is a niche market.
I knew that there was some type of business there to be had. But then my police department gave me an ultimatum. They're like, hey, we don't want you working this side business, so pick. And I said, easy choice, I quit.
Easy choice, cleaning brains, put a coin.
So from 42K, you didn't have a lot of extra income coming in to start a business, right?
No.
How much did it cost you to start? What did you need?
I found a school in Dallas, Texas at the time, and it was $2,500, and $2,500 was all I had in my savings account. You know what? I got to take a chance. So I went out there and I met these two guys that were in the class with me, and they said, hey, we just went to a bank and we got a $150,000 small business loan. You know, so I went to 4 banks and they all said no, not no, but hell no. So I had to get creative. So I went to the 5th bank and I lied and I said, I need windows. How much can I get? And they're like, how much are the windows? You know, and I'm like, you know, and I just let them pick, and they wrote me a check for 15 grand.
Okay, so you had.
That's sexist, I think. That's weird that it's like, we can't give you $5,000 to start a business, but we'll give you $15,000 for something that will not serve you. Unless, I guess technically it would raise the value of the home, so they would anticipate that you'd be able to pay it back. But she lied. She's not a police officer anymore.
15 grand, and where did that money go? Like rapid fire?
The $2,500 went to the training, of course. $2,200 went to the trailer. About $8,000 went to PPE and equipment.
How'd you get that first gig?
So it was door to door.
How do you do door-to-door sales for crime scene cleanup? That is interesting. Come in. Do you have anybody that's ever got? Oh yeah, my nephew, you know, he's involved in some dangerous activities. Unfortunately, they blew his brains out, and we just have it in the office, actually. You don't know how to approach it. We thought the police would come by, a special paramedics unit. So yeah, if you just want to head down to the back hall, his brains are all over the floor. Come on in. She's like the crime version of, you know, that the door-to-door salesman guy that's like, oh, I'll clean your roof. Look, I'll discount you for $50 right now.
My first gig was at a Salvation Army. Guy died and decomposed in a recliner. And that was interesting, you know, trying to carry a recliner by myself.
Oh, dude. Oh, there's maggots. Are these real photos? How much would you have to be paid to do this? I wonder how much you made for this job.
What did your first job pay you? Your very first one?
That one was about $2,500, and then my next one right after that was a double homicide, and that was $15,000.
So you make your money back.
Stop. Is this monetized? how did they get this on YouTube? She's like, yeah. And then my second job was a double homicide. And the editor's like, guts and blood all over the floor. All right, what are you doing? You taking the $15,000 job for the double homicide? I mean, when I think of niche market, I think of, let me find somebody that makes a decent amount of money that isn't necessarily being served right now, and I can use my photo or video production to solve that. Like a big niche market I hit that didn't involve cleaning up dead bodies was when I was doing freelance, was helping online coaches, online businesses, online course creators create courses, shoot their trainings, shoot their marketing, stuff like that. That's what I think when I think of a niche market. I mean, you guys tell me, are you doing that? Are you doing this for 15? I'm 15. We're definitely getting to convincing numbers here.
Right, 30 days?
Yeah, it was like 30 days, yeah.
So I love these types of businesses because these types of businesses are what is called low capex, but high cash on cash return. The faster that you run a business like this, the faster that you get your cash back. These are great.
So she's saying it's a high margin business.
For businesses, for people who don't have a ton of money and they want to use their sweat equity for the first part of building a business.
I mean, she did spend 15 grand. She get a $15,000 loan. People that don't have a lot of money, what are you talking about? She ran through 15 grand of equipment that she needed. That is relatively achievable, to be fair.
There's a whole different type of cleanup.
Yeah, meth labs.
Yeah.
Meth labs.
Yeah, meth labs is, as the economy gets worse, meth labs skyrocket because it's a source of revenue for people.
Wow. This is what we
Wow.
call a recession-resistant business.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, she's right. This is a good recession-resistant model.
We're decontaminating that type of thing to make the home safe again. Average is between $12,000 and $40,000, and it takes a couple days to do it.
$12,000 to $40,000 to clean up a crime scene? That's doable. That's doable. I mean, so you're exposing yourself to toxins that are toxic. So I get that. So there's a higher risk of danger to yourself, but you're getting rid of the disgusting side of freaking someone's wig pushback.
This kind of business.
Astronomical. Yeah. So the biohazard and the meth labs produce about an 85% profit margin.
Whoa. And there's a lot of it just inherent.
We have our own kind of proprietary method, and that's what we teach our franchisees.
Yeah, and you probably use a lot of these.
They do franchises. So if you guys ever want to get started with something like this, hit up Spalder Decor. DK. I don't know, one of those. They do franchising. Some people want to do Chick-fil-A. Some people want to do like Dave's Hot Chicken. But you can also clean up humans' leftovers. I knew a dude fresh out of prison that started a cleaning business, a regular one. And that was pretty nice. He was able to get some contracts with some companies. A lab was one of them, not a meth lab, but like a real lab. And he created a cleaning business. He just got his equipment. He had to, he got some venture capitalists, like real ones, because they partnered with his like prison program. And he started a solid cleaning business, and he would clean during the night, and he had a few different locations that paid him a decent amount. I definitely think there's no problem with like sweat equity. A lot of people think of like cleaning and blue collar work as like not as desirable. But I also think, I mean, if you're doing it and you're creating a business about it, I don't know. You have ownership then. You have a laborious job, but you also have ownership. So like, that's pretty desirable as well.
What used to be weird when you went to a crime scene that now you're like, it's Tuesday?
Body parts.
Oh.
Biting teeth and jaw and parts of people's skull, a nose, an eyeball. So that used to not shock me, but it used to give me pause.
And that's how you know you're human.
And now it's like, hand me the eyeball.
And now you're not human. Now you have left the universe. Hand me the eyeball should be nothing someone says about a human body part. But for 15 grand.
That's wild. So does that just come with reps?
Yeah. Like anything,
Reps.
right? It's just kind of muscle memory at that point, and you get used to it. And
it's like going to the gym. It's
crazy what the human body adapts to just about any environment.
This is a hot take. I think some people think about, what's my passion? What do I desire to do? And she makes a good point. I think the human body will adapt to anything on multiple levels. I think you actually find passion and enjoyment in things that maybe you previously didn't, if you have an excitement about maybe the future of it. So if you're doing blue collar work, but you have a business around it, you're so excited to do it. I saw this dude that was like 19, started $100,000 a year roof cleaning business, because he was passionate about it. And normally you'd think cleaning roofs is not the most desirable job, but for him, it was caking out. So I think when you think about a passion and a job like that, like I kind of like to try everything. I'm even learning woodworking right now because I feel like you do something enough, you can actually find a lot of enjoyment in it, and your body adapts to that. Like your mind adapts, and you start to find enjoyment out of it, and then you're building skills on top of that maybe previously you didn't have a passion for.
One that sticks out to me is I was cleaning a guy, and he had put a pillow over his head and shot himself to muffle the sound. And the adult daughter called us in to clean it up, and we're cleaning it up, and she insisted on watching and sitting in the corner watching us clean it up. And I thought, okay, well, that's different, but maybe that's part of closure for her. And then I found part of his jaw and his tooth, and I grabbed it and I went to throw it in the red bag, and she goes, no, I want it. And I'm like, oh God, what do I do? It was like one of those moments like, are you sure? And then I was like, okay, I gave it to her. And then the next day we came to the job and she was wearing it around her neck.
Oh, get out of here, dude. She needs Jesus. She needs deliverance. She needs the full-on eyes rolling in the back of the head. That is when you call a priest. I don't even care if you're Protestant. If you go to regular church with like sandals and a band, you call a priest. The person you're calling for that lady is if guy with the white collar and the holy water. That's just regular tap water, but in a special vase. She needs Jesus.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, it's now jewelry. Really sad. It was an animal hoarder.
Oh no, what does that mean?
That means they had 20, 30 dogs that were living in this. And the dogs took over the property. And it's just, you could see the shit. I mean, there was just tons of animals. You can see the litter things all turned over.
They blurred out dog poop, but they showed literal human remains smeared on the floor. Okay.
It was a massive hoard, despite the fact that it's only a one-bedroom apartment. He just squeezed through his front door and climbed, because his bedroom and bathroom are in the back there, and he just kept throwing his trash in the front room. And
Look, I'm paying $12 million to not do this job. Good for her. Good for her. I'm paying $12 million, $1 million a month to not. And it's not the picture. You know what it is? It's this.
Squeezed through his front door and climbed, because his bedroom and bathroom are in the back there, and he just kept throwing his trash in the front room. And
see it? The bugs. I'm leaving.
One of the things I didn't realize was so prevalent is hoarding and people accumulating a ton of stuff. Talk to me one about
The cleaning lady is a hoarder. The cleaning lady is a hoarder. She literally, as she says, I didn't realize how prevalent hoarding was until I came to your office. You knew people were coming. You knew camera crews were coming. What's going on?
Hoarding and people accumulating a ton of stuff. Talk to me one about like, why do you think that happens?
You know, that's one of our bigger verticals. 3 to 5% of the population suffer from hoarding, and that's a lot of people. So what we've been able to realize is there's a traumatic event that happened in that person's life, and this is how it's manifested. Just accumulating it past the point of functionality in their home.
How many times do you see where you come in, you guys clean it all up, and like that's the trigger for change, or do you get called again in 3 or 6 months?
The recidivism is very high, so I think it's 98%, if I remember correctly. So,
whoa, she got repeat customers. Recidivism, if you're not familiar, means the people fall back into the same habit. So they pay for they pay $4 to $8 grand for someone to come, and they become a repeat customer not too long. Oh, that's literally what it says right here. Sounds like a repeat customer. Oh no. That's so bad, bro.
So a lot of businesses would never agree to do this. Look at this YouTube channel. This is Laura's YouTube channel.
Spalding Decon is one of the nation's largest cleanup companies handling the aftermath.
They have a YouTube channel. Can I show this? No. I have to blur this out. There's no way her YouTube channel is monetized. So her part of her 12 million is from YouTube.
Who's this guy?
That's Maggie the Maggot.
This is ridiculous.
She is awesome. So she is, this came to fruition one day. I was working a job. We're kind of having fun, making light of it, and we decided to take the maggots on the floor and make races. And
Stop it. You are a crazy person in the best way possible. This job has to be done. But these maggots reproduced out of somebody's body because they were dead. And now we're playing Race the Maggot.
we had our maggots race. I did not win. There was 3 maggots there, and I was like, you know what? That is exactly the mascot that we need, and she's adorable, unlike the real maggots. And it's kind of just blown up. We have a ton of T-shirts and hats, and it's just kind of gotten a lot bigger from a merchandise.
Clean up life's accidents. Okay, I'll give it to him. That is great.
Standpoint than I ever imagined.
So despite this being about crime scene cleanups and maybe seeming a little bloody, there's always a lighthearted way to do it.
Hey man, look, there's a job for everybody. And there's a job that makes money for everybody. It's just how bad do you want it? If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. Also, drop down below. You cleaning up remains for 15 grand? I want to know. Peace.